What's up, folks? Today we're going to talk about the top 3 baits that I love to throw when the fishing is slow. It's all coming up on today's Tips, Tech, and Discussion. Thank you for tuning in to another TTD. And on this edition, we're definitely going to talk about my top 3 baits that I love to throw when the fishing is slow. We've all been in those situations where the bite is not on, they're not jumping in the boat, and we have to take our time and soak our bait to get those bites. It could be because of fishing pressure, too many boats in the area, or just the weather has turned the fish off. Well, let's talk about those top 3 baits that I use to get 5 in the boat. Let's talk about my setups in regards to fishing slow. So we're going to go right into it with the Carolina rig. What a great way to cover water but still fish slow and tempt those bass into biting. Remember, the strike zone has become very minimal, very small, so we have to soak that bait and have to put it right into the fish's face. I go with a 7'6" Vendetta Albo Garcia rod, medium heavy, 7-3-1 Albo Garcia high speed reel. So when I do set the hook, I can get that fish to the boat. 17 to 20 pound Berkley Vanish, half ounce Eco Pro Tuscan weight. I go with a 10 to 12 pound Berkley Vanish on the leader, 3 feet on the leader. Then I go to a 4/0 extra wide gap Eagle Claw Trocar hook. There's 5 baits that I use in regards to my Carolina rig. So the first one would be a standard lizard. Green pumpkin is my choice. Number 2 would be a crawl style trailer. We might be looking at a jigger crawl or a ultraviolet speed crawl. Third would be a fluke style bait. We want to mimic that dying shad. Fourth would be a tube. Alright, so we're still mimicking that crawfish style lure. And then the 5th would be the worm, just a straight trick worm or Cinco style bait. So those are the 5 baits that I use, and I just cover a lot of water fishing slow to tempt that bass using the Carolina rig. Here's number 2 on my list when I'm fishing slow, and it's nothing more but a Buckeye Lures balling out finesse jig. And when you want that 5th fish, that kicker, this is definitely what you want to use. And very simple for me. I go with a black and blue or a green pumpkin. I use black and blue when the water is a little stained to dirty, and anything other than that, when I have some visibility, I go with a green pumpkin to brown combination. 7.3 medium heavy Veritas Albo Garcia casting rod, 17 to 20 pound Berkley Vanish, Revo SX 7-3-1 high gear ratio, so I can jack them fish and get out of there. But this is an awesome way to fish slow when there is a crowd or the bite just isn't on, and to catch those fish. I throw this around docks, I throw this around laydowns in wood, I pitch this in grass in the holes, I even cast it out and bounce it back or drag it back to get that bite. And I'm fishing it slow. This is not a fast technique. Once again, the bite is slow, I'm fishing slow, and I just want to get that bite so they can tell me what they want and how they want it. So I'm soaking it. If I'm fishing around any wood or laydowns, I'm soaking it. I'm counting to 5, I'm counting to 10, I'm counting to 15 before I move it. I'm making sure that that bait stays in the strike zone so that fish will get very tempted and irritated by it and then strike it, because it's an easy meal and it's right in front of them. So number 2, the finesse jig. Finishing up my top 3 setups when we have to fish slow. We have to slow down and catch our fish. I go with a Texas rig Cinco style bait, 7-foot medium heavy Vendetta Albo Garcia casting rod, 7-3-1 gear ratio Albo Garcia reel, 14 to 17 pound Berkley Vanish. I go with a 3/16 ounce weight, and once again that 4/0 extra wide gap hook by Eagle Claw Trocar finishes it up. and I go with a black and blue, all black, or green pumpkin 5-inch or 6-inch. Depends on where I'm at in the country. Cinco style bait. Sometimes I'll break it down to a 4 when I feel that the fish are a little finicky, but the 5-inch is pretty much my standard. And with this setup, I'm able to be on the deck of the boat and I'm able to make casts, still fishing methodically. I'm casting it out there and I'm dragging it back, reeling up the line, dragging it back until I get that bite and the fish tell me how they want it. It could be a very subtle bite to where they just pick it up and you see your line cruising. Or it could be a very aggressive bite because once again, it has came in front of their face. It has came into the strike zone and they are going to attack it very aggressively. So that's one thing that I definitely do with the Texas rig. I make strategic casts. Sometimes even pitch it in grass, but I make strategic casts to be effective in catching fish using this rig, especially when the bite is slow. Well, there you have it, folks. That's today's TTD on the top 3 baits that I throw when the fishing is slow. Once you rig those up, go to your favorite body of water and put them to the test, and I guarantee you have a great time. Drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe to this channel. It's greatly appreciated. Also, check out my other social media platforms. From tips, tech, and discussion. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.